Rizal Memorial Stadium complex was designed by Juan Arellano in 1939, inspired by the Harbor Bridge in Sydney, Australia. This bridge is a fine example of Art Deco streamlining. In this episode, we will see Art Deco in its streamline manifestation, inspired by the machine, aerodynamism, fluidity, and speed.
In the 1930s, the confluence of speed and aerodynamics became an important motif of Art Deco's final phase. Fast modes of transportation of this era, including grand luxury liners, streamliner trains, and motor cars, communicates the extent of the Art Deco machine's influence on mass culture and the modern travel. It was in the luxury ocean liner where engineering and aesthetics finally combined in forms that were gloriously streamlined. The real expression of modernity. Streamlining is quintessentially American. Designers and architects began to look to science and technology and took their lead from the study of aerodynamics. The fetish for the machine transformed the look of everything from skyscrapers to toasters. The aesthetics of streamlining was the look that mattered, a look that had soon crossed over from transportation to a dazzling range of consumer products. Streamlining is a style that makes things look functional, giving an object the appearance of speed and dynamism.
The greatest air transport flight. The China Clipper after 60 hours of flying time over the Pacific, and there's Manila. She's crammed with airmail.
On November 29, 1935, a few days after the inauguration of the new Philippine Commonwealth, the first trans-Pacific flight arrived in Manila aboard the China Clipper. After almost 58 hours, the luxury seaplane flew the route originating from San Francisco for Pan American Airways. It was a sensational achievement and a defining moment for Filipinos who caught the glimpse of the future. Modern, fast, dynamic, and with an interior adorned with Art Deco glitz, China Clipper was the definition of machine elegance and the icon of American streamlined glamour. It provided a total experience, a combination of speed and luxury. A maritime theme, along with a heavy dose of Art Deco sensibility, extended to the decor. The walls were inlaid with mahogany, polished to a shine. The wood obscured the extra insulation used to limit the noise and vibration from the engines. The obsession with speed and travel is reflected in the familiar smooth curves and the aura of precision and exactitudes of the streamlined style. Streamlining, which can be seen as yet another strategy to renew decoration, transformed the look of everything, from factories and cinemas to transport, product and fashion design. It was deeply symbolic and highly decorative and aimed to stimulate consumption. Through the use of forms that suggested those trains, automobiles, and ocean liners, streamlining metaphorically represented speed, progress, and technology. It created works that were undeniably modern, yet highly desirable, and lent style and glamour to the most mundane of domestic products. Even buildings, the ultimate static objects, were built to look fast. Streamlined architecture proclaimed a flash and gleam beauty, with its flat, hygienic stuccoed walls, curvilinear edges, modular glass surfaces, projected or recessed horizontal bands, tubular metal railings, steel appendages, and round portholes. In many parts of the world, Art Deco stood for modernity and escape from restricting traditions. It offered an accessible image of modern life and progress, more fun than competing forms of design. At the same time, designers could adapt Art Deco to convey national or local identities and meanings, using native decorative forms as subject matter. The search for a modern national style led designers in many countries to explore native motifs with the aim of asserting their cultural independence. A country's distinct flora and fauna replaced classical ornamentation. Native art provided new forms that were both exotic and national. Knowledge of the new style spread rapidly in the urban centers of Manila, Iloilo, Bacolod, Cebu, and Sariaya as Filipino elite traveled to Europe aboard ocean liners and replicated what they saw in their own domestic environment. Filipino architects like Arellano, Nakpil, and Luna de San Pedro went to see the Paris Exposition of 1925 and returned to Manila with a new Art Deco aesthetic. European models of design seen at the exposition were quickly imitated, but local architects and designers strove to adapt its aesthetic to local and readily available materials such as wood, reinforced concrete, and precast ornaments. The influence of European design is clear in the atelier of Gonzalo Puyat, who pioneered in the mass production of furniture in the Philippines. In his furniture pieces, we see the fusion of East and West, adapting European shape and ornament to intersecting circles, fans, vertical and horizontal lines, epitomizing the Deco aesthetic. For one, the ambassador chair brilliantly exemplified how the style was so quickly adapted to inject new life into local wooden furniture and to create exciting new forms which had become ubiquitous in Filipino homes at that time. Art Deco helped to ease the transition to the modern. In the Philippines, which saw dramatic transformation in the American colonial period, the growth of Manila as a colonial city stimulated the development of a thriving urban culture.
The two-wheeled native conveyances drawn by active Philippine ponies.
Department stores, cinemas, and cafes became the new social centers. And it was Art Deco that was adopted as the style best suited to meet those demands. Art Deco's exuberant exoticism and ornamentation were deployed in the facades of Elpo Building, the Bautista Nakpil Pylon, the Metropolitan Theater, Santos House, and Mapua House. Additionally, the strict classicism of the Bulacan Capital, Cebu Capital, and the Sariaya Municipal Building demonstrated the transition from the classical style to the Art Deco style as applied to government edifices. The stepped or zigzag silhouette of Art Deco was best captured by the Insular Life Building, the Bawan Municipal Building, the pylons of the Quezon Bridge, and even the UP Carilion. The streamlined and maritime imagery were admirably applied to the Rizal Memorial Stadium, the Hialay Building, the Bel Air Alhambra Apartments, Marsman Building, Lopez House, and the main building of the Far Eastern University.
Nagustuhan niyo bang episode na to? For more updates, subscribe to my channel.